So here is a tour of my low-budget Japanese apartment in the heart of downtown Osaka. I got this through a house share service, and I'm paying about $35 a night, which would come down to about $1,050 for a month, but there is a monthly discount, so I'm paying about $900 for a whole month. That actually does come down to about what a normal apartment's monthly rent is here, even for a longer contract. Although for the size of my apartment and for how old it is, probably I found some online that could be more around $600 a month for a half-year to two-year contract. It's small, but I really like it. The lack of space really forces me to be a bit more efficient, and in doing so, I really think it makes me appreciate the space a little bit more. And that, by the way, is where I do laundry, right here by the riverside, which is really cool, I think. Of course, there's no shoes inside, and here we have the entrance hall. I don't think we can see, but I can place my keys here always. And we have some cute little owls that came with the home share. There's one coat hanger here in the entrance where I keep the one jacket that I really have to have looking sharp all the time. And some storage space for mainly suitcases and the blankets for the guest bed. But let's go on inside here. I often keep this door closed because it's winter time, and I really like to keep the heat in this small space I have here too. But it's nice to have the kitchen and the bathroom heated as well. Anyway, we can cover all the rooms here fairly quickly. The entrance hall, where I keep my shoes, my work bag, the everything else room, where I have my office, my bed, my sofa, which also turns into a bed for friends if anyone wants to come stay over. Here I have my luggage, where I'm still keeping most of my clothes because of the lack of space, and my secondary desk, where I have a basic charging station for my drone battery, my camera battery, every kind of battery you could really need. I have charging there. Now here, as you can see, we have the desk space, the office space that I kind of constructed out of the TV and the desk they had available. I really had to cram everything here from my PC that I use for editing, that I had to bring all the way from Los Angeles, to all my camera gear, my microphone where I record most of the voices that you will likely hear on my TikTok or my YouTube, and the lighting here in the corner. I even have space for my drones, my hard drives, my backup batteries, almost everything. There's not the amount of space here that I would usually like in an office. However, I've grown accustomed to it and I really have no complaints now. My mouse doesn't really work on the reflective surface of this desk, so I have been using this contract as a mouse pad the entire time, which sounds kind of janky, but I had forgotten it's even there. I work better in darker settings, but I do like some colorful light, so I have my circular sphere gradient lights here that kind of project a sphere of purple and blue there, and this one in orange, which kind of like makes it feel like there's a cool gateway of orange around where I work that separates from where I sleep. I don't know, it makes sense to me. So here is where I edit, enjoy social media, watch TV, and really everything else you could imagine an office space is used for. I spend a majority of my time right there, second only to the bed. I really do find the bed to be comfortable. It's quite enough for me. My last Japanese apartment had only a futon, so this is quite an upgrade from that. Here's a cute little plushie that my friend and I won at a festival with a bow and arrow shooting game. We didn't really do that well, but collectively we did well enough to win a toy. When the sun is setting, I have amazing sunlight coming through that window, which I really enjoy. I'll probably post some videos of that. Unfortunately, due to a lack of space, I keep most of my clothing still in my suitcases here, where I kind of get dressed and get changed and keep everything organized. Here is where I have my laptop, where I do secondhand editing and enjoy myself watching TV or something before I go to bed. This apartment didn't come with too many rules. We're in a very loud and noisy part of downtown, so they didn't really recommend us being quiet because it doesn't make much of a difference. However, there is no cooking here, which leads us to the kitchen. As you can see here, we have the microwave, sink, cutting board, and stovetop, which is greatly unused because the rules state, let's see what we have. Here in the rules, it's stated that you're not really supposed to do cooking, usually because of short stays. They don't want the house to be smelling like any sort of oil-based food or anything for the next guests to come in. So here I mainly boil water, I chop some vegetables for salad and such, and I have the fridge where I keep my drinks, my leftovers, and any cold food that I keep around for when I don't feel like walking to the convenience store. And in Japanese apartments I've lived in the past, a kitchen like this is more than enough for me to do almost all the cooking I need to do. And yes, I do need to do my dishes. Here are my two condiments, just some spice I picked up at the convenience store and some Tabasco to add flavor to some of the foods I feel need it. And all of these wonderful dishes came with the apartment as well. We also have the hot water boiler that came with the apartment for whenever I want some instant ramen or instant miso soup. However, I am trying to keep my sodium to a minimum. Trash bags for when I separate the trash to take it out. And here is where we kind of mix the kitchen and the bathroom, my towels, my hair dryer, and my iron that also came with the apartment. I guess this is the charger for my shaver that maybe belongs there, maybe it does not. And I don't know if you can see all the way back there, but here's an ironing board, which I use every once in a while when I need to look extra sharp. And honestly, I'm right at home ironing here in this small place. Here's the Japanese equivalent of cough drops, and here are 2 lovely candles that my friend's children made for me for Christmas. Unfortunately, there are no candles allowed in the apartment, so I'll just have to save those for later. But aren't they wild cute? So if you don't mind a small cooking space, this has always been enough for me. And this is the only outlet available for when I want to blow dry my hair and look at myself in the mirror, which leads us to the bathroom. As you can see, the bath is probably smaller than you might be accustomed to if you're coming from the West. It is kind of strange. Now that I think about it, that the bathroom is connected to the kitchen, and the sink and the bath faucet are actually one and the same. You can definitely use the shower faucet, the shower head as well, to fill up the bath, but I usually just use this space to take a shower because, as you might imagine, I will not fit in this bathtub fully, but I do use it every once in a while. It's nice. This apartment, to my dismay, does not come with a bidet, but you know, it's not for everybody, and I can't really complain. My previous apartment had a shower head that was probably around down here, so even when I showered, I kind of had to like duck down, and I'm thankful that this one has some height to it. As for here, I have a soap that a friend made for me, or a client made for me. Shout out to Herbal House for Men. Rosemary scent, delightful. Just hair products, some of my skincare. That basically wraps up the bathroom. It's as simple as could be. So when you do want to take a hot shower or a bath, you have to turn on the hot water heater, and that keeps the water warm. You can select the temperature you like it at. I like it at 42, it's kind of nice. Here is one of the most important things for a Japanese winter, the air conditioning and heater. This one luckily came with English translations, because I've been in apartments previously where it was the dead of winter, I was freezing, and I could not for the life of me, even with a translation app, figure out what buttons to use to get the heat on, and I spent a couple freezing nights. I know that sounds silly, but I would have tried for hours and not gotten it to work. So feeling blessed. If someone ever rings the door for me, or it's Uber Eats, I can let them in via this button, and actually I can see who it is with a video screen there, which is the essence of safety. I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts, and there's nothing like a ring on the doorbell in the middle of the night to get my heart pounding. So it's phenomenal to see who I have to be expecting. And this is calligraphy that I'm practicing. This is actually called kakizome, which is kind of like the first calligraphy you do in the new year, and it's supposed to set the tone for what you would like the year to be, kind of like manifestation, or even like a resolution for the year. And this one basically means to learn. Here is some calligraphy that my calligraphy senpai wrote for me for the year of the rabbit, and that made me really happy. For my work, I have my lighting here and everything. It's kind of hard to tell, but I actually have enough room to do product shots and even some portraits in my very own apartments. With the proper lighting, it does not look half bad. I do really wish the space came with more areas for hanging coats. I have to make do with that. There is a coat rack there, but I'm using it for other purposes. And what is this thing, you might ask? That is for drying your clothes, which brings me to the veranda. I actually really happen to like my view. It's not much but buildings, but it lets a good amount of sunset light in, and I honestly never really minded an industrial landscape. Here we have the next amenity, the washing machine. Luckily enough, this also came with instructions, and it's fairly easy to use. You do have to turn on the water here before and after use. I'm not exactly sure why, but that's in the instruction manual, and I'm always one to follow the rules. This here basically says that in case of an emergency, to break this down to reach the second door. I'm not exactly sure how easy it is to break down or what that means, if you can just kick it away in case there's a fire or your exit is blocked, but it gives me some kind of peace of mind. And then it just says don't block this, because if someone else has to break this down to use my door, then we don't need anything in the way. Here's my view. I don't think it's that bad. And later I'll take you all up top to see the view from the 10th floor. Welcome to downtown Osaka. One thing I really wish I brought more of from Los Angeles is these kind of little power strips. I had one packed, but my bag was just slightly overweight, so I had to take that one out, which I'm regretting because now all of my chargers and computer components are competing for space to get power. You could argue I could do without the lights, but I don't know. you got to enjoy your space, right? If I had one issue with this place, it would be that I would have liked to keep my clothing someplace else than my luggage. However, usually I believe you would keep your clothing here if this was not filled with bedding and such. I think a nice small space is also easy to keep clean, which I enjoy. And it may not seem it, but it's actually large enough for me to have comfortably 3 to 7 guests over to relax, to maybe get ready for a night out together, enjoy some food, snacks, or drinks together. I really think it's quite cozy, so no complaints. And that essentially sums it up. All right, now let's go to my favorite place in the apartment, which, regardless of where I live, will almost always be the place with the best view. And even though it's super safe here, always keep your doors locked. Might be kind of windy, I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear my voice, but here we go. Something I do love about living in Japan is the safety element of it. Even in the heart of downtown right here, where my apartment is surrounded by bars, nightclubs, and love hotels, amongst other things, theft is very uncommon. Everything from people leaving their bikes unlocked to bartenders leaving their phones on the counter, but still, always a good practice to keep your doors locked. Already, the view is majestic. I love it. I love like an industrial, lively downtown cityscape. And I love the utilization of space with the staircases and apartment complexes. Residential areas built into places with storefronts. But we're not done yet. Oftentimes I come up here in the morning, if I have time. It feels like a good way to start my day. Look at that, we're going up. You can already see some nice rooftop gardens and giant neon crab signs to alert people where they can eat kami or crab. I've been wanting to do like an artistic photo shoot up in the stairwell, but haven't had the time, unfortunately. But I miss doing things like that. Anyway, here we are. You guys ready for my favorite view? Welcome to Namba, Osaka. I can already see several establishments where I frequent. I love all the windy stairwells and the rooftops. Old world industrial architecture built in with decorative recent hotel advertising. I think it's beautiful. I feel like I could spend a lifetime just getting to know this part of the city. I think utilization of space in Japanese architecture really captivates me. I'm really nervous for whoever has the job of going up to the very rooftop. Sounds exciting, but I don't think it's for me. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video. Feel free to like and subscribe. My name is Wes Mather. I'll be doing Japanese vlogs, insight to the cultural differences that I've experienced, and just videos on cool things that I find throughout Japan. Have a good day.